Hallelujah. He's so amazing. The Bible says in Lamentations 3:21 that his mercies are new every morning.
Yes, new mercies for this day. Good morning, Mechanicsville. How you doing today? This is Don Curtis. And yes, new grace, new mercies renewed to each day for you and for me, so that today you and I can rejoice and be exceedingly glad. Not waiting for tomorrow, not even waiting until things get better, but even right now, just giving God thanks for a brand new day. Praise for his tremendous love towards you and to me. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Good morning to you. Yes, we have some new listeners in Gracersville, Maryland. Good morning to you. Some new listeners also in Waldorf, Maryland. That's where Christ Church get together every Sunday. Good morning to you. Yes, we have listeners in San Jose, California. Good morning to you. Yes, WBR FM radio station in Wagonbarrow, England. Good morning to you. Yes, in all of the United Kingdom and London and other places as well. Good morning to you. Yes, in the country of France and Guadalupe. Good morning to you. Yes, good morning, Greenbelt, Maryland. Good morning, Indianapolis, Indiana. Yes, Washington, D.C. Good morning to you. Ashburn, Virginia. Good morning to you as well. Queenstown, Maryland. We have some new listeners in Queenstown. Good morning to you. Listeners in Baltimore. Good morning to you as well. Yes, what a marvelous day today is. Yes, yes, yes. We just give God thanks for another great day. Yes, we do. Yes, yes, yes.
Come on, let's talk about his love and his grace.
Yes, good morning, Spain. Good morning to you. Yeah, Australia, good morning to you as well. South Africa, good morning to you. And those that listen to us in Switzerland and the Philippines, good morning to you. Now, Indian listeners in the country of India, good morning to you.
Amazing.
Yes, Dominican Republic, good morning to you. Cambodia, good morning to you as well. Faroe Islands, good morning to you. France, once again, good morning to you. Yes, we salute our listeners in Ireland. Good morning to you. Malaysia, good morning.
He's truly amazing.
Yes, we thank God for those that listen to us around the globe this day. Yes, our listeners over Mixcloud, good morning to you. Yes, those that follow us on iTunes, good morning to you as well.
It's sufficient for us.
Yes, Sermon Audio, good morning to you. Yes, this love is a wonder love. Yes, it is. It's a magnificent love. It's God's divine love for you and for me. It's called agape. Yes, it is. Leads us to freedom. Yes, it does. And he that the Son of Man sets free is free indeed. Good morning, Jamaica and Japan and Finland and Egypt and China. Good morning to you, Brazil. Yeah, even in Vietnam. Good morning to you, Vietnam. Oman, good morning to you as well. In Sweden, good morning.
I can hardly wait till that day when I see your face. Oh, I'm sure I'll say, I can only imagine what I'll say. God we serve, I tell you today he is amazing. Hallelujah. Anybody know who he is tonight? Amazing. Come on, declare in the name of Jesus, you're amazing, God. Amazing. Hallelujah. He's amazing. Yes, he is. Amazing. Tell somebody, the word of the Lord says we overcome by our testimony. Tell somebody, my God is amazing.
yes. He's amazing. Yes, he is. He's just amazing. And I tell you, I'm just excited about today. Yes, I am. I was excited about yesterday. I was excited about today. And tomorrow hasn't come yet, but I'm already excited about it. Yes, because I'm discovering, as you are as well, just how marvelous this life is in Christ. Just how, I tell you, wonderful it is to know that Christ is in you, the hope of glory, to know that you're not in this thing all by yourself, but he's right there with you. And if you've been like me, meditating and thinking about what he has said, Jesus said, look, the same glory as he was talking to his Father, the same glory that you have given me, I have gave that to them. Yeah, he was talking about you and me, every single one of us, anybody, everybody who believes on him, who receives him for who he said he is and who he really is. Something amazing has happened to you and to me. Whether we realize it or not, whether or not it has actually penetrated our consciousness or not, that doesn't resolve the issue or change the issue, the fact that he has done this. He has given to you and to me the exact same glory that the Father gave him. And the purpose is that you and I might be one as he and his Father are one. That same relationship would be yours. And I tell you, this is amazing. This is one of those things, you just don't shove this to the back burner. You don't put this back and think about this on another day when it's rainy or whatnot. You ain't got nothing else left to do. No, this is on the front burner. This is something that should permeate your mind and my mind as well. We need to muse on this, think on this, and accept this, believe this, embrace this, walk in this, talk this. Yeah, Jesus has given you this tremendous gift of his glory. Yes, the glory as of the only begotten Son of God, full of grace and full of truth. And that is absolutely true about you, and it's true about me as well. Yes, it's marvelous. It's wonderful. It's stupendous. Every adjective you and I can describe, can think about, it still falls short of just how magnificent this is. That right now, no matter where you are, if you have received Christ Jesus, you have received this glory, because he said he has given this to everyone that believes on him as a result of the proclamation of the good news concerning him, what he has done for you and for me. And part of this good news is this, the fact that not only did he die for you and for me, and we're in that part of John's gospel looking at that, but he has also given to you and to me the same glory that the Father bestowed upon him. Yes. I tell you, you can't get over this. I can't get over this as well. Can't even get around it. I mean, this is absolutely a stated fact and truth about you. If it's not true, then Jesus didn't lie. He's one of the biggest deceivers and liars out there, because he's gotten so many people's hopes up just to crush them and dash them to pieces. But we are learning, and we believe that no, he's not a liar. But he is, in fact, as he described himself, the truth. And the truth about you and the truth about me is that he has given to you and to me his glory, the same glory. Now, if he was lying to you and to me, guess who else he was lying to? He was lying to his Father, because he was praying to his Father. He was telling his Father that the same glory that he had given him, he said he has now given that to us. I mean, that's fatal if he's going to lie to his own Father about something as precious as this. But he told the truth. And guess what? If he was lying to his dad, if he was lying to his father, he would still be cold in the grave right now. He would have returned back to ashes and dust to dust and earth to earth. That is what would have happened to him. But it didn't. It didn't, because he was, in fact, the truth, just like he said he was. And just as he said, look, you destroy this body, in 3 days I'll raise it back up again, that's exactly what he did. But I want to encourage you to think about this and to meditate on this, that the same glory, you got it right now. You have the same glory that he had as the Son of Man here on the earth. The same glory that the Father gave him, guess what? You have it right now. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I tell you, this is amazing. Yes, it is. It is absolutely supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yes, it is super fantabulous. This is what Jesus has already done for you and for me. And I tell you, not only have we been looking at his words to understand more and more about him, but we've also been looking at him. Yeah, we've been gazing upon him to see how he reacts, see what his attitude is like, see what his spirit is like in the midst of all of what he's going through. And you and I know that the real test of anybody is not when things are going good and everything seems to be flourishing, going their way. No, that's not the real test. The real test is when things are upside down, when the bottom falls out. Yeah, when you're under the most excruciating pressure and whatnot, that's when the true test happens. That's when you and I see what really makes a person tick, when they're under pressure like this. And so we're looking at Jesus. He's in the midst of his crucifixion now, and we're seeing what he is. We're seeing how he reacts to this. How does he handle this? How did he respond to this? And you and I know that as he stood before Pilate, he didn't defend himself. He didn't have to speak up for himself. He could have. He could have called down a legion of angels and destroyed the whole place, but he didn't. And Pilate was just blown away because he had examined him and found that there was no fault at all. He said, I find no fault in him. I don't know why you guys want to crucify him, want to put him to death. He has done absolutely nothing worthy of this whatsoever. Nothing. I find no fault in him at all. And Jesus is just mum. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't say a mumbling word. He's not mumbling at all. He's not saying nothing. He's just quiet. And Pilate turns to him and says, hey, don't you know who I am? Don't you realize that I have the power and the authority to set you free or to crucify you? You need to speak up. You need to say something. You need to defend yourself. And how often do you and I defend ourselves? We got to speak up. We got to say something. Somebody done lied about us. Somebody exaggerated something about us. Someone stabbed us in the back, and we're ready to defend ourselves. That's the human nature part of us. But there's also something else that has happened to you and to me. We've become partakers of his divine nature, and this same Spirit of Christ now is in you and in me. It's Christ in us, the hope of glory. And so now this same non-defensive, don't need to defend yourself, is now in you and in me. Jesus said, look, I don't have to defend myself. And he speaks up and says, look, I understand what you're saying, but there's something that you don't understand. There's something I know that you don't know. And what I know is the basis upon which I'm keeping my mouth shut. It's the basis upon which I don't have to defend myself. Because there is somebody with me, in me right now, that you don't realize who he is. You don't know who he is. But he says, I know. And he says, look, I want to let you know that you would have no power, no authority. You couldn't do the things you just said you could do, except it were not given to you from above. My daddy gave that to you. And you think I'm afraid of you because you have power and authority over me? You wouldn't have this kind of power or authority over me whatsoever unless my Father in heaven gave that to you. And because I know that he loves me and I know what his purposes are for me in this life, you don't move me at all. And you and I can rest in the fact that if God is for us, who can be against us? Nobody can stand against you, against me, when you and I realize that God is for us. That was his attitude. That'll be your attitude too. It'll be my attitude, because we'll know and we'll actually believe this. We'll be believers of this. We won't be just mouthing off. We'll actually believe that, wait a minute, no one has any authority or control over us whatsoever unless it were not given to them of our Father. All power and authority comes down from him above. I don't care who it is. And they might not understand it and misuse it, don't appropriate it right. Just like Pilate didn't know. But you and I, we are people of the know. We know what's happening. I hope that's true about you. And I hope that's true about me. We know what's going on. We know what's happening. So that supervisor on your job, he wouldn't be supervising you unless your daddy gave him that authority to be able to supervise you. So don't get upset with him. He don't know any better. She don't know any better, but you know. And so therefore, you don't have to defend yourself at all. You just talk to your daddy about it and rest in that, knowing that he got all things under control. And not only that, we even go further as we look at Christ now. He's being crucified, and we're told now, we've turned now to Luke chapter 23 because we want to pull something out of there that John doesn't have in his, that just shows us again Jesus Christ. He said, come and learn of me. So that's what we're doing. We're responding to his invitation. We're learning about him. And he says, look what happens in verse 32 on down to 33, 34 in Luke's Gospel chapter 23. It says, now there were also two other malefactors led with him to be put to death. They're getting ready to kill Jesus, and they got two other guys that they're going to kill right alongside him. And when they will come to the place which is called Calvary, there they crucified him and the malefactors, one on the right hand and the other on the left hand. And then Jesus, that we mentioned this yesterday, but I want to just read it to you, and I hope you'll see it yourself. Then Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they departed his raiment and cast lots. Now he is being nailed to the cross. They are casting lots for his clothes. And he has the audacity. He has the presence of mind. He has the grace of God. He has agape love on the inside of him. His Father's working in him in such a degree that he says, Father, forgive them. I mean, that's absolutely astonishing. You can't get a word for that, because right in the midst of his crucifixion, right while they're killing him, he's saying, Father, forgive them. Yes. Now, this is the same attitude God desires for you and I to have among ourselves as well. In fact, he doesn't ask us to drum this kind of thing up. He knows that you don't do it. You can't do it. I can't do it. None of us have the means by which to do this. And that's why he's given to us the Spirit of his Son, Jesus Christ, into our hearts. That's why Jesus says, I've given them the same glory that you've given me. That's why it's Christ in you, the hope of glory. That's why it's true that greater is he that's within us than he that's within the world. Because if that was not the case, you wouldn't be able to do what he did. And if it was not for his Father in him, guess what? He wouldn't be able to do it either. But it was of a reality that it was. And so he says, Father, forgive them. Now, ain't nobody been crucifying you. You're not nailed on somebody's cross. Nobody is casting lots for your clothes. You haven't gotten to this point at all in your life. And so there's absolutely no reason at all, except you don't have the Spirit of Christ. There's no reason for me not to be able to do this unless I don't have the Spirit of Christ in me to be able to say, Father, forgive them. Not waiting until they ask for it, not waiting until they deserve it. That'll never happen. You and I didn't deserve to be forgiven by him, but guess what? We are. And that's why he says, the same way that I've loved you, I want you to love your enemies. I want you to love everybody around you. Forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand what's happening. And that's true about your enemies, too. That's true about those that would persecute you. That's true about those that would speak all manner of evil against you falsely. That's true about them as well. They don't know. They don't understand. But listen, because you do know, that sets you aside. That sets you apart from that. They don't know. You do know. That's the distinction. That's the difference. That you know and they don't know. Yeah. Yeah, so the next time when you find yourself caught in the firehairs and whatnot, in the crosshairs, so to speak, and when you see that you're the target of that ridicule, when you see that, you're the target, you just know something that they don't know. Yeah, you realize that there's somebody on the inside of you that's greater than whoever it is on the outside of you. Yes. Father, forgive them. For they know not what they do. Yes. Yes. And one of the malefactors which were hanged railed on him, saying, if thou be the Christ, save yourself in us. Yeah. But the other one answered and rebuked him, saying, don't you fear God? I mean, seeing that you are in the same condemnation? We indeed justly, for we received due reward. He said, we messed up. We deserve to die. We deserve to be crucified. We are, in fact, guilty as charged. But this man has done nothing. Listen to these two different attitudes right here on the cross, these two malefactors. One guy is mocking Jesus, said, look, if you all that, if you're for real, why don't you come down off the cross and bring us down as well? Why don't you save us and save yourself? The other guy said, man, what's wrong with you? Don't you have any fear for God? It seems like this guy is seeing something and knowing something that the other guy didn't see and didn't know. It seemed like he knew something about Christ. Something was happening to him. He was getting this revelation right in the midst of his dying that this other guy was not receiving. And that's why you and I are so blessed if we've been receiving this revelation about who Christ is, that we're understanding more and more about who Jesus Christ really is. And this guy turns to Jesus and said, look, Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. Now, this is a marvelous revelation this guy is getting that the other guy just missed totally. Yeah, he believes in something special about Jesus. He's saying, wait a minute, this guy, he's going to conquer death. Isn't this amazing? He's never seen anybody yet escape crucifixion, to be able to overcome crucifixion, to be able to overcome death. But this malefactor, he turns to Jesus and he sees something about Jesus that nobody else is seeing right there among them. Nobody else is seeing this. Nobody else is knowing this. Not even Martha, not even Mary, not even his mother understands this or sees this. But this malefactor does. He sees Jesus as Lord, Lord over death. Yes, if he just saw him as a man that was good, and if he just saw him as a earthly Lord, then he knows his days are over with, because both of them are being nailed to the cross together. Both of them are dying together. But he sees something remarkable about Jesus Christ that the other guy does not see. He says, look, remember me when you come into your kingdom. In other words, your kingdom is coming. You're going into your kingdom. And when you go into your kingdom, remember me. Yes, he understood something about his own death, that this dying was not going to be the end of his life. He understood something that he hadn't been taught in Sunday school. He was understanding the reality of this right now. It was dawning on him. He was having some understanding, some revelation about who Jesus Christ really is right in the midst of his own dying. He said, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Yeah, he didn't expect this to be the end of himself and the end of Jesus. He wasn't like the other malefactor. I don't know where his mind was at that point in time when he's hearing this, but something revolutionary has happened to this other guy. And I tell you, something revolutionary happens to you and to me too when we see Jesus for who he really is, and we esteem him highly as the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, when we see and recognize that this man has authority and power over death itself, to the point that he has the ability to be able to do something for you and do something for me. This guy says, remember me when you come into your kingdom. I realize that you are a king and you have a kingdom, and your kingdom is far vastly more powerful than what we're going through down here on this cross. It's amazing when a man or a woman really touches the hem of Christ and really see who he is. It's revolutionary. It's amazing. It's life-changing. It alters your paradigm. It changes how you see everything and everybody. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You and I can see this right here. Here are two guys. Yeah, they're being nailed to the cross. They're being crucified right along with Jesus. And one guy stays the same. He dies in that state of unbelief. He dies in that state of not knowing who Jesus is. He dies in that state of mockery. But then there's another guy. There's another guy who, right in the midst of this, has a tremendous divine revelation and understanding about who Jesus Christ is that impacts his eternity. Yeah, that's what is so amazing about you and about me. That we are not in darkness any longer. We are not blind any longer. That song is true concerning you and concerning me. I once was lost, but now I am found. I once was blind, but now I see. That's what was happening to this malefactor. He was blind for a while. But now, right in the midst of his dying, right in the midst of his crucifixion, he now can see. He can see Jesus in a way he never saw Jesus before. He sees him as Lord. He sees him as King. He sees us as somebody who is overcoming death itself. This is marvelous because Jesus is really dying on this cross along with him. But yet he sees that Jesus' dying is not the end. He's speaking of his resurrection. He's speaking of his conquering death itself. He is seeing it. He is knowing it. And we know he's believing it because he's asking him to do something on his behalf when he comes into his kingdom. It revolutionized who he is and how he talks, how he thinks. And that's what happened to you and to me. It revolutionized how you think and how you talk, how you live. You can't stay the same any longer. I can't stay the same any longer. And Jesus said unto him, verse 43, we're in Luke's gospel now, chapter 23. Verse 43, and Jesus said unto him, verily, I tell you today, you don't have to wait long. You don't have to wait for 3 days. You don't have to wait at all. He said, truly, truly, I say to you today, shalt thou be with me in paradise. You're going to be right here with me. I'm going to take you with me. I hear you. And I know what's going on, Jesus is saying. He knows what's going on. He knows his Father has called this guy out of death. He knows this guy now is really a son of God, a child of God. Yes, he does. He says, I'm going to tell you, I like this word verily, because it means truly. I'm going to say this to you. I tell you, this guy has such peace in the midst of his dying because Jesus spoke back to him. Jesus responded to him. Jesus answered him and said, I want to tell you truly, mark my words. I'm saying to you today. He didn't say that to the other guy, but he said it to this one. Today. Now, I like this today, not next month, not next year, but today thou shalt be with me in paradise. I tell you, it doesn't take God long at all to do what he has to do. None at all. Yes. I can see clearly now. Yes, I can. Hope and serenity. Yes, I can see clearly now that there's something special about Jesus Christ. I can see now. And that's what this malefactor said. I can see who you are. Yeah, so remember me when you come in your kingdom. And Jesus said, guess what? I'm going to tell you today, shalt thou be with me in paradise. So where I am, that's where you're going to be at. Sunshiny day. Yeah, I can see clearly now.
I can see clearly now. It's gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
Yeah, can you see clearly now? Good morning to those on the state sides. Good morning to those in Wisconsin. Good morning to you. Yes, North Carolina, good morning to you as well. Texas, good morning to you. Alabama, Missouri, good morning to you.
I know I can make it now. The pain,
yeah, I can make it now.
All the bad feelings, they've disappeared. They have disappeared. Jesus was the answer I've been praying for. Ooh, gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. day.